Hello friends, so I'm here to show you a demo. One of my friends recently attended an interview for AngularJS developer as a fresher, and he's very good in theory. But there he was asked by the interviewer that he has to perform a task, and the task was to bind a select or drop down list to a view or HTML page, and the value from the drop down should come from the JS file, that is from the controller. So he told me about this, so I decided to upload a video for the freshers or the beginners to know, so that they get to know how to perform such tasks. So our main purpose of this tutorial is to get to know how to bind a select or a drop down via AngularJS scope. Fine. So I have already made two pages here, HTML and JS file. So first thing we need to do in JS file is to reference angularmin.js, so that we could work with the IntelliSense very well. So now I am defining a module, and for those who are learning, who are beginner, the first obvious step for learning AngularJS is to defining a module and the controllers. I hope you all know very well about this, how to define a module and how to define a controller. So I am not going into that. The purpose, I am sticking to the purpose of this tutorial, to how to bind a select from the values from the controller. So I am putting a name here, my app, and here I am defining dependencies. I don't have any dependencies yet, so I am leaving it as a blank. Now app dot controller, defining my controller is my controller, and now I have a function with the scope property injected to it. Now I will define an array of values. So to define an array of values, I hope you all know, and if you don't know, so I will tell you here. To define an array, we simply have, I said this name is items. We simply have this angular brackets, and after that we have curly brackets, and inside the curly braces we define our values. Like I have two properties. We define our properties. Sorry, I have two properties: item ID 001, and say let's another property say its name, and the name is item 1. Fine. Now for the sake of time, I will copy this and paste it 4 times to bind 4 values to the drop down. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. So this is the format of defining an array in JavaScript. So this is the item, and this is the values in the array, and we need to bind this values with the select or drop in the HTML page. So it's done here. We should now move to HTML page here. So first obvious thing is to define and give the reference of AngularJS. Another thing is to give the reference of the JavaScript file you are working with, and third thing is to define your module. Module is my app, module name is my app, and fourth obvious thing is defining your controller you are working with, if you have one. Now I will take a select. So working with select in AngularJS, you have two options. First, using ng options. Angular gives you ng option to bind all the items of the to the drop down from the controller, ng option. And another thing is ng repeat, which is very obvious in AngularJS, to loop through the items. I will tell you both and the difference between both in while working with select statement. So first we will use ng options. Ng option and the syntax for ng option is for item in items. Here item is here it's coming from this scope.item. It's my scope object name, and this is the syntax. And before that, for binding the values, we should take item dot id, item dot property 1, which is id, as item dot name items. So this is all we need to bind the values from the controller to the drop down. Now if you run this code, you will not get the expected output. Instead you will get an array and nothing should bind. If you press F12, here you will get this error, and if you click on this error, it will take to the AngularJS homepage, and it defines that controller ng model required by directive ng options can be found. So thing is, for working with ng options, it is mandatory you to define ng model as well. It is a compulsory thing to define an ng model if you are working with ng options. So what should I define in my ng model? I have to take this ng model value, be it be blank, but it should be there. It should present be there. So but I need to fill it with some value, so I can take selected value here. Selected value equal to, and I am taking a manual value here, 001, this thing, and now I will define it this ng model. Yeah. Now I will refresh this page, and you see there must be no error. It's something an obvious error. It's not related to this to our purpose with this task. So now you can see all the values have been binded here successfully using this. And now you have to if you want to display the selected value into the page, you can simply do this. Selected value. Now if I reload, it will show you the selected value of the selected item, and see it changes and the change as a change. So this is as simple as. Now another option for binding a value from the controller to the drop down is ng repeat. Now ng repeat, we can many of you have must have used ng repeat for iterating it with the arrays. Now let's see how to use ng repeat with the select statement. Ng repeat, and the syntax for ng repeat is similar to ng options. Item in items, fine. And here we will define item dot name. Now for binding with ng repeat, you need to have provide options back to the select, and instead of iterating it here, you need to iterate it inside the options side. This, fine. And you will have to define the value here. It's item dot id, and of course selected value there. Now if I run it, if I press Ctrl F5, you will see it's the basic approach using ng options, and it is value isn't coming. Let's see what happened. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what happened. Okay. So let me see what is the error. I think I've done some mistake here. It should be here, and again ng model selected value. Fine. Now I think it should work as expected. Yeah, it's working as expected here. So it is, you see values are being changed in both the drop downs and both the model, because the model B are the same. I have taken the same model for both. Fine. So this is the way we can bind a value from the controller to the select statement in HTML. Now what is the difference between ng option, binding it with the ng option, and binding it with ng repeat? According to Angular.org, if you ng options is a better approach for binding the values from the controller to the selected segment, because it does not create a new scope every time, and it is considered as faster than ng repeat. So it's better to use ng options instead of ng repeat in case of binding values in field select and other purposes. Fine. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.